For the last 20 years, the tech industry operated on a reliable compromise. Companies sold hardware below the actual cost to manufacture it, absorbing the financial hit up front to build massive ecosystems of loyal users. That compromise is failing. In June 2026, a European retailer leaked pre-order listings for Grand Theft Auto 6, with the standard edition priced at €90. That converts to roughly $100, a move that shatters the long-standing psychological pricing ceiling for mainstream software. Software prices are rising because the hardware math has broken. Instead of following the traditional cycle of price cuts, Sony implemented a 30% hike for the PlayStation 5 4 years after its launch, pushing the disc edition to $650. This chart tracks GDDR6 memory, the high-bandwidth silicon essential for modern gaming. Spot market prices for these chips surged 60%, while the high-speed storage used in consoles rose 45%. At its original retail price, Sony was losing money on every unit manufactured. Faced with these costs, Sony prioritized profit margins over market share. They increased retail prices and reduced production volumes. U.S. hardware sales declined 30%. The era of the technology loss leader has passed. As supply chain costs remain high, manufacturers have shifted the entire financial burden of global shortages directly onto the consumer. High replacement costs for primary devices, like $600 consoles, have a secondary effect. They freeze the upgrade cycle for the rest of the home. When households are forced to spend more on essential electronics, background infrastructure, like networking hardware, is left to age into obsolescence. This stagnation created the opening for the Airy Stinger malware. Security researchers discovered over 4,300 infected routers, specifically targeting D-Link models manufactured between 2012 and 2015, that many users simply never felt the financial or technical pressure to replace. Airy Stinger is a reconnaissance botnet. It does not launch loud attacks to crash websites. Instead, it silently maps the internet. It uses these legacy home routers as proxies to scan enterprise networks. Because these devices reached end-of-life status, manufacturers abandoned them. With no patches issued, these vulnerabilities are permanent. Between rising hardware costs and abandoned manufacturer support, millions of consumer living rooms have become permanent, unpatchable staging grounds for global cyber espionage. Corporate power now dictates hardware security and the boundaries of cultural media. Amazon MGM Studios recently made the decision to permanently shelve a fully completed prestige film titled Artificial, despite it being ready for release. The film depicted the chaotic 3-day period in 2023 when OpenAI CEO Sam Altman was fired and subsequently reinstated following an employee revolt. The business logic is clear. In February 2026, Amazon signed a $50 billion cloud partnership with OpenAI. 4 months later, Amazon dropped the film, releasing a drama portraying their multi-billion-dollar partner in a state of leadership collapse was a conflict they chose to avoid. Independent distribution offered no refuge. Netflix, Focus Features, and A24 all declined. Each company cited concerns that releasing the project could complicate their own ongoing technology partnerships or high-level corporate relationships. Hollywood's reliance on tech platforms has enabled a system of strategic business-to-business censorship. Large-scale corporate alliances now have the power to step in and unilaterally veto the stories the public is allowed to see. As tech giants consolidate control over hardware and media, Wall Street is moving to absorb the financial layer. Asset manager Franklin Templeton has filed to integrate Bitcoin directly into traditional equity portfolios. This chart shows the mechanics of their Bitcoin DRIP ETF. In this model, stock dividends from large-cap U.S. companies are automatically intercepted and converted into Bitcoin. It creates a systematic, automated buying machine within a regulated fund. While institutions build frictionless tools to accumulate assets, individuals struggle for transaction privacy. Developers are working to strip a code called the RBF signal, which chain analysis firms now use as a digital fingerprint to track users across the blockchain. Corporations are automating the acquisition of decentralized assets for profit, while everyday users must manually strip away underlying code just to protect themselves from corporate surveillance. The news cycle of June 22, 2026, reveals a singular pattern across 4 disparate sectors: $100 games, vulnerable legacy routers, suppressed prestige films, and automated corporate crypto ETFs. The period of disruptive, consumer-first innovation has yielded to a phase of permanent entrenchment and unyielding profitability. The industry has matured, and its priorities have narrowed. The tech landscape is no longer shaped by consumer demand. Instead, it is governed by hardware supply chain constraints, mega-corporate alliances, and institutional financial integration. Navigating this environment requires abandoning the expectation of corporate benevolence. Survival now depends on proactively securing your own digital infrastructure and accepting the rising financial and cultural costs of the entrenched era.